Hi guys, welcome to yet another episode of Microsoft ERP Beginners Tutorial Series. Again, we are going to continue our discussion on the quality management. So in this episode, we are going to perform different scenarios related with the quality management, and we are going to completely focus on the concept of inventory blocking that you can see behind me, and how does this inventory blocking are linked with the quality management, and in general, what is inventory blocking. All this will be covered as a part of today's episode. So let's get into the episode. Hi guys, welcome back. And just in case if you are new to this channel, I strongly recommend you to watch my previous video on quality management and come back here because it's a continuation of my previous video. So in the previous video, we have already created a quality association, which is this one. And we are now going to continue with more scenarios on the quality management in this video. So this is the quality association we created for this item, and I'm going to make some minor changes to this quality association. So in the previous video, according to our setup, the quality order got created after the posting of the product receipt. So in this video, let's make it as before posting of the product receipt, and we'll also keep an inventory block during the product receipt process. Let me open it again. Yeah, so inventory block during the product receipt process. And I've also made few changes, like I've changed the checklist because in the previous video we used the other checklist, this one, and this has is a lot of tests. The checklist is too long for me to test, so I have changed it to a shorter checklist with only one item in it. And in the previous video we used 100% sample size item sampling. Now I'm using 10% item sampling, remaining all the things are same. So let me just save this quality association and quickly create a purchase order, and I'm going to use this item. So let me copy it. So let's create a purchase order. So as I mentioned during the introduction, the primary focus of today's episode is going to be on the inventory blocking concepts. So let's explore them. So for that, I need to quickly create a purchase order with a site and warehouse. And let me add the item in the quality association. Okay, so that item. And I'm going to use the quantity 10 quantity. Let me give a price because there's no price mentioned for this item, and also configuration and color because it is an item master. So let me save it and then go ahead and confirm it. So after confirmation, I'm going to post the product receipt, and in this example the product receipt we will not be able to post the product receipt because of our setup in the quality association. So let's see. Let me click on OK. So system should not let us post the product receipt here, so as expected. So we will not be able to post the product receipt because of the quality order, meaning here the quality order gets created before the product receipt, and I'm also using an event block during the product receipt, which blocks me from creation of a product receipt. So let me just close it and let's get into the quality order, which is this one. So this quality order, so as you see now, the quality order is not created for the entire purchase order quantity, meaning if you go back to the purchase order, in the purchase order we have 10 quantity, but the quality order is only created for the sample size, which is 10% of a quantity 10, which is just one quantity. Okay, so that's because of our change in the sample size that we have done. So the quality order is created for one quantity here. So and another thing is, if I go and check my inventory, something called as an inventory blocking. So whenever there is a quality order created at the back end, what happens is that particular quality order quantity gets reserved. Okay, meaning nobody will be able to consume that quantity until the quality order is, that is until the inspection is completed, that is it's done. So in this example, if I go and check my inventory blocking, there is a separate navigation path for inventory blocking. We will get into all of that little later in this video, but now I'm going into the inventory blocking from the quality order itself. So when I get into the inventory blocking, I see that one quantity is being blocked. Okay, so meaning this actually reserves that one quantity, so that that one quantity is not being consumed or used in any way. Okay, so even though the entire purchase order is of quantity 10, the blocking is only done for the quality order quantity of 1, meaning the remaining 9 quantity in the purchase order are still free to move. Even though I'm doing a quality inspection on behalf of the all 10, because the sample of 1 represents the other 10, but even then with this current setup, what happens is only one quality order, that is quality order with only one quantity creates, and only that particular quantity is reserved. The remaining 9 quantity are free to move. Okay, so that's because of the setup. So that's how my current setup is. But if you want to change the setup a little bit, meaning even though you're doing inspection of the entire 10 quantity with a sample size of 1, you still want to block the entire purchase order quantity and not just one, so that you're more safer, and your inventory will not be used by anyone else until you are doing inspection. In such cases, you can use changes in setup. But the item sampling, you have a setup called as a full block. So if I turn on the setup, just save it. Okay, I go back to my quality association and save this as well. And now just remember that we created a quantity of 10 in the purchase order. Quality order has only one quantity because of the sample size, and the inventory blocking is also following the quality order quantity of 1. Okay, so now after enabling this parameter, if I now go and create my purchase order, so let me create it for the same vendor. And this one. Okay, so oh no, I forgot to copy the item number. So that one, the variant is that one, and again the quantity is going to be 10, and the unit price is going to be that one. Okay, so all same purchase order. I'm going to confirm it. And I'm trying to product receipt is, of course, the result will be same. We know that you will not be able to receive it. Never mind. So let's get into the quality order. So this is a quality order which got created for only one quantity as expected, because our sample size is 10%. But if I get into my inventory blocking scenario, the inventory blocking is now made for the whole purchase order quantity. So that is because of the setup that we have performed inside the item sampling, right? So meaning this setup of full block, which is driving this particular change in behavior. So here I am going to get my complete purchase order quantity blocked. So let's now explore, when do we need to use this scenario, that is this scenario of blocking the entire purchase order quantity, and when will we use the previous scenario of only blocking a purchase order, that is the quality order quantity. So just to give you some ideas for a beginner, so the quality order is also applicable not only just for the purchase order and also for the production scenario. In most of the cases, let's say there are around 100 items coming out of the production order, and they are inside your production warehouse, and you don't need to inspect all 100. You're only inspecting around 10 out of 100 or 1 out of 100, let's say 1 out of 100. So in such cases, the remaining 99 quantity, maybe your inspection takes around a week to complete, so you don't want to make that 99 quantity wait in the production warehouse. You may need to quickly move them out of the production warehouse to a bulk location, and in the bulk location you may still segregate them in a separate location, or maybe by segregate those 99 stock which are in progress with the inventory with a different inventory status. So however you want to handle, you will still need to move that 99 out of your production warehouse to another warehouse, because you don't want to hold them all in the same production inventory. Just only one sample is being taken out to do the inspection anyways, and that requires 2 weeks. In such cases, the previous scenario is more applicable, where the inventory blocking will only be done for one quantity, not for the entire purchase order quantity. Whereas this scenario is a lot more suitable when your vendor is delivering you a product of, let's say, 10 quantity, and you are maybe only inspecting 1 out of 10, but still you want to just check before receiving whether they are good enough. So you're blocking the whole 10 quantity from getting consumed by anyone. So this is another scenario where it's more applicable when you're purchasing from a vendor. But yeah, but there's no hard and fast rule on this needs to be used only under certain circumstances. Of course, based on the business process, you can play around with both the scenarios. These are just some ideas and some examples based on my experience. Anyways, so that is a concept of how we can block the full PO quantity and how we can block the partial PO quantity. So let me go back and change the setup to original. That is, I'm going to turn this off, save it, and go back. So now let's get even more deeper into the inventory blocking. So we just touched the topic of inventory blocking. We now know what is the inventory blocking. It is basically reserving or blocking your inventory from getting used by anyone else, which automatically gets created when you're creating a quality order. This is something our understanding about inventory blocking. So let's explore more deeper into the inventory blocking concepts. So in order to explore inventory blocking, we already created a lot of quality orders automatically using the quality association from a purchase order. So it's also possible for you to manually create a quality association. So let me create one quality order manually. So just go into the quality order section, click on new, and you will be able to choose the item. I'm going to use the same item, and that's new checklist, and 10 quantity again. Okay, site, that's the warehouse, and I'm going to choose a variation of configuration and color. Just go ahead, and this way you will be quickly be able to create a quality order. So as soon as you create a quality order, you will see that there is a block here. So inventory block. So whenever you create a quality order, by default the inventory blocking will be created for you automatically, and that will reserve that the quantity of the quality order quantity for you. So in this case, it will always follow the quality order quantity, and the purchase order quantity doesn't come into picture because this is a manual quality order, right? So this one blindly follows your quality order quantity in the inventory blocking. It will block all the quality order quantity for you. And one more thing here, very important thing here, is the expected receipt, right? This particular checkbox cannot be overridden. It's by default grayed out. So this actually what it does is, by default it is open, that is by default it is turned on, because by default, even though 10 quantity of this item is blocked, but still this 10 quantity of this item will be considered during the calculation of master planning. Meaning, if you are running your MRP or master planning, this 10 quantity will be still considered as if it is in the inventory. So it won't be excluded from the master planning calculation. But of course, you have a ability to control the date. If you really, by default it is in today's date, but if you really do not want want to consider it as a part of it's available from today, maybe you want that to be made available only after 2 days. In such cases, you can even change the date to after 2 days, so that when the master planning is run on a specific date before the start date, it won't be considered, right? So this is a very important flag to understand, and this flag is by default turned on, so this particular quantity will be considered during your master planning calculation. And there are a few more things which we will discuss as we go. So this is inventory blocking, and you will not be able to delete this inventory blocking because the delete button is disabled. But do not need to worry, because let's say that even though I'm failing this quantity, assuming that I'm failing it, and I'm going to just validate it. So the quality order is failed. So as soon as you take an action on the quality order, even if it's a pass or fail, irrespective of whatever the decision is, the inventory blocking will be automatically deleted. It will be gone, right? So that is again one more thing which I want to show you, that the inventory blocking is automatically created, and also it is automatically deleted as soon as you finish your quality order. So let's cover another scenario. Just like how we manually created the quality order, it is also possible to manually do a inventory blocking. So in this situation, forget about the concept of quality order or topic of quality order. I just want to go little more deeper into the inventory blocking concept, because anyways, we are talking about the quality order inventory blocking in today's episode. So for now, let's keep the quality order aside, and let's only see about the inventory blocking a little more deeper. So if you want to go into the inventory blocking section directly, under the inventory management periodic tasks, you have something called as a inventory blocking. So this is the inventory blocking section. This is where the items are automatically created and deleted based on the quality order. Okay, so when the inventory blocking is created from a quality order, you will see that the inventory blocking type is quality order. Okay, so you will understand that what is the reason for that particular block based on the inventory blocking type. So I can even do a manual inventory blocking, meaning I can create my own inventory blocking. So why do we do that? For example, let's say that this is an item, and this item is, let's say, how much in the inventory. Okay, there are around, in this warehouse, there are around 18 in the physical inventory. They're available to be booked by anyone, right? So for some reason, you want to do a reservation of this particular item. Let's say if this item is in the sales order, then you have a concept of auto reservation or manual reservation within a sales order. That way you can reserve the stock against a specific customer. But let's say for some reason you will not be able to add this into any sales order document, because sales order is an official document. You really do not want to create a sales order for the sake of just reserving it. Maybe the reservation is made because you foresee a sale, or you want to just hold it on behalf of a customer, but still you do not have a permission to create a sales order. So in such cases, you can use the concept of inventory blocking as a concept of reserving a stock or holding a stock for a specific reason. So the inventory blocking necessarily need not be always considered for a quality order, in order for you to just hold the stock because the quality inspection is in progress, whereas it can also be used for the sake of reservations. Okay, so let me go back now and use the same item number and do the inventory blocking. So let me copy this item number and do the inventory blocking, and let's say customer, sorry, hold for a customer 10001. Okay, and the quantity is 1. No, not 1, maybe a quantity is 10, because I have 18 available in the on-hand inventory. So I want to hold 10 out of 18, and that's the warehouse and site. Save it. So that is a manual inventory blocking process. So here, if you go here and you see that it is at the moment on hand. And if I refresh it, you will see that there is a reservation of 10, meaning only 8 is now available to be sold or to be processed further to any other customer. Okay, so meaning the 10 is at the moment in block. And if you want to also go further into the transactions to know the reason for the reservations, you will see that the physically reserved under the inventory blocking. Okay, so there is also a reason reference which is tagged against the reservation, which is nothing but inventory blocking. And another thing is, when you are manually doing the inventory blocking, the type is going to be manual, and in this case you can exclude it from the master planning or you can include it from the master planning. The system will let you to override, whereas in the case of a quality order, you have seen that it was grayed out, right? So it didn't let you to override, whereas here you have an ability to override it. Okay, so you can go ahead and override the blocking. And in the quality order, you also seen that the delete button was disabled, but this is a manual blocking, so you will even be able to delete this blocking. So if we go and just say okay, and if I go back to the inventory transaction here, uh, just refresh it. Now you will see that the reservation is gone and 18 is available for you to block, meaning you can still release the reservation by deleting the inventory blocking. So that's a very good inventory blocking feature. And also, you have your lot ID and everything created, and this will be the lot ID that will also be against in your inventory transactions whenever the inventory is blocked. So all that will be available for you as a reference inside the inventory blocking. So that is where that is the concept of inventory blocking. And so we have seen so far is that inventory blocking got created manually, got created from a quality order. Since we are also talking about the inventory blocking, I also want to talk about the another feature available in Microsoft Dynamics 365, which is called as an inventory status. There are also a lot of comment on this and questions on this in a lot of my videos to talk about the inventory status, or to the questions on how can we block the specific group of inventory within a location, or how can I group the inventory within a specific location. So answer to all that question is your inventory status. Okay, so inventory status is nothing but, even though your stock are all in one particular location, let's say location 001, and within that location you want to segregate or group the item against each category. Let's say out of 100, 50 are ready to be consumed, so you want to group them as ready to be used, and you have another 20 which are still under inspection. Maybe the sample is under inspection and you still move the remaining quantity in the inventory and you don't want anybody to touch it. You can create a new inventory status called inspection, and that way you can control your inventory within the same location without even moving the inventory from one location to other location, or any specific location for inspection, or specific warehouse where you want to move using a movement journal. You don't want to do all of that. You can still have all of your inventory in the same location, but define them into different inventory status. Okay, so for the inventory status, you might need to add a additional storage dimension inventory status. So I have created an item with the inventory status enabled. So let me get into that item. So this one. So this item, in order for you to make sure that the inventory status are enabled, you need a proper storage dimension. So this particular this thing needs to be activated, and of course in order for you to activate this, you also need to activate this particular option, which is you need to activate the advanced warehouse management. Okay, so I have activated it against this item, so this item is now having a inventory status enabled. So if I go into my on hand inventory for this item, I will see that the inventory status is available. Okay, so under the inventory status section, if I get into this, um, let me remove the filter. I have created two inventory status. One is available and one is blocking. Okay, so for this particular inventory status, I have enabled this parameter called as a inventory blocking. Whenever you enable this parameter called inventory blocking and you assign this particular inventory status to an item, the inventory blocking again automatically gets created for that particular item. Okay, we will see this scenario shortly so you understand better. So this is another way of automatically creating inventory blocking. Okay, the inventory blocking got created from a quality order. We manually created inventory blocking, and another way of creating an inventory blocking is through or triggering it through an inventory status. So in this case, I have made a simple inventory status of available and blocking, but of course you may create an inventory status like inspection, like a specific stock is grouped against a specific customer, so you want to group them with the inventory status with that customer name. So however you want, you can use the inventory status based on your business process. Okay, there are also feasibility in the system to define a default inventory status while receiving an item in a purchase order, while selling an item to the customer. So even it can be a customer specific inventory status. When you're receiving an item from one particular vendor, it will carry a specific inventory status. So at the same time, even in the sales order, you can do so. We will see all that concepts about a little more deeper about the inventory status while we discuss about the advanced warehouse management later. Okay, for now let's just focus on the inventory blocking association with the inventory status. So coming back to our inventory blocking topic, so I have already created two inventory status. One is available and one is blocking. The blocking will trigger a inventory blocking because I've turned on this parameter. So now um, uh, this particular quantity is in the physical inventory and it's available for use by everyone, right? So let's say that I'm changing the status of this particular inventory, so for which let me use another tab and let me go into the advanced warehouse management and periodic and inventory status change, right? That one. So I'm going to use filter and use my item number, which I've already did. So here it is, and changing the status to blocked. Okay, so now let's say okay. So the entire quantity, in this case I'm changing the status, so it is changed. So if I go back here and just refresh it, the blocking, the status is changed to inventory blocking. Okay, so if I now check the transactions for this particular item, I will see that there is a blocking available for that is reserved, which is of 10 quantity. Okay, so I can even get into my inventory blocking section. Inventory blocking section, I will see that there is a inventory blocking created for this item and the blocking type is inventory status. Okay, so inventory status is blocking, so everything is now changed, and even the lot number is here, which is which will be also displayed here. I can add a lot number column. I will see that the same lot number will be available. So that is another way of triggering the inventory blocking through the inventory status. So so now I'm talking about the inventory status and I'm updating the inventory status from the warehouse management module in this case, but we are in a quality management topic, right? So in order for me to connect the concept of inventory status with the quality management, it is also possible to default the inventory status onto a specific quantity from a quality order. Okay, so the setup for that is, I think it is in the let me try to recollect. Collapse all quality order, I think in the test group. Okay, so this is a test group that we've used. Okay, not here. Okay, not here. I think it is hidden here in the general tab. Yeah, that's one. So it is also possible to turn this on. Here you can set up your blocking status, and here you can set up your available status, right? So we know that whenever you create a quality order, and let's say you're failing a quality order, even you're failing a quality order, the as soon as the quality order is closed, your inventory block is released, right? But if you're using this and making sure that whenever it is failed, even though the inventory blocking for the quality order is automatically deleted, the system will automatically change the status of the failed inventory to blocking, meaning the quality order, that is the failed quantity, will still be blocked because of the inventory status change. So you can even trigger the inventory status change from here. Okay, it necessarily need not always be a blocked one. It can even be some other name which is actually not creating a inventory block, but maybe a name which from which you know that you should not be touching those inventory because those are all failed inventory. A name can even be failed, right? A quality failed. So you can do the further investigation and you will not be using it as a part of any other activity. So that is another link of your inventory status and your quality order. So I'm not doing any scenario using this in a quality order. I'll let you to test it. I'll let you to create a quality order with this setup and then see how it works. And once the quality order is failed, then the inventory block is gone, and then the inventory block for the inventory status will appear. So that way your failed quantity will still remain blocked, right? So these are all different topics that I wanted to cover. I know today we were almost everywhere. We covered different scenarios and different situations. Could be a little confusing for some of you, but you can rewatch it if you're really new and try to practice along with me so you can digest all this information. So thank you so much for watching this episode. See you again with another new bunch of scenarios related with the quality management in next episode.